Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. We're going to have a quick laugh at the expense of Disenthrall, and his name's Patrick. He's an anarchist. He is confused. He can't think in principle. He's run up against a problem with his non-aggression principle, that you should not be aggressive or initiate force against other people. He's found a problem that sometimes people might threaten other people. And sometimes we don't know exactly what's going on with that. Now, I suggest if he were able to think in principle, then he would realize that this is a legalistic detail, not a principle that he needs to work out. It is not a bump for his philosophy. It is something that lawyers and so on would work out in courtrooms over time. And elected representatives would write the laws that the lawyers would then litigate, and then the elected representatives would fix, and voters would put in representatives because some laws were super egregious, and over time the laws are worked through and reflect society. We can look at a few examples. Let's go through and let him have a bit of his say here. First, let's get him in trouble to begin with. Let's let him get himself in trouble to begin with here.
Define anarcho-capitalism? Or they wanted me to define...
Yeah, what is anarcho-capitalism and how does it conflict with Yaron, I can never say it right, his views?
Okay, so anarcho-capitalism, I think, would be defined as... It's also called voluntarism, which means that all relationships should be voluntary. It's a perfect lack of coercion, a perfect lack of force.
A perfect lack of coercion, a perfect lack of force. Now, he puts that word on there because mentally, inside of his mind, he wants to get rid of coercion and force in a platonic, rationalistic, floating, non-objective, non-real way. In a totally la-la land, unicorn, nonsense way. He wants to just force and coercion to just go bye-bye. He just doesn't want to worry about it. He just wants to think about other things besides the use of physical force. Now he's come up against a problem, though, because he finds that a person walking down the street with a gun on his hip might be a threat. Then we go to 2707 for that.
It's like, okay, can we define threat in an objective way? Like, this seems like an easy question. This is what I blew past by, and I was like, wait, I didn't actually answer that. Hold on.
Here's the objectivist answer. Yes, we can define threat in an objective way. Now, it would change because, for example, lasers have been invented recently, or, lasers that are powerful enough to be harmful, right? So when I was a kid in the 1980s, there were no lasers. And you could not point a laser at a helicopter or anywhere. There was nothing, right? The scientists had lasers. There were lasers in laboratories. These were not powerful lasers. Nowadays, you can burn somebody's eye with a laser. You can blind airline pilots, as they say, and stuff. So the nature of what an objective threat is does change over time. Now, he wouldn't be able to adapt to that because he hasn't got law. He has no system of law. Law. L-A-W. Law. It's like coercion and physical force. It's something he just doesn't want to think about. Now, if he could think in principle, then he would see that this is a legalistic detail which should be worked out at the time. And it may be the case that in Idaho or in downtown New York City, there's a different attitude toward having a gun on your hip. It may be the case that in downtown New York City, you cannot display weapons in case someone might inadvertently grab your weapon. So you have to keep it under your clothes in order that nutcases have a more difficult time getting to it. Perhaps that's the law, and it's not that egregious of a trespass on your personal liberty. But out in Idaho, you've got it on your hip because you don't have a second to spare to pull it out when a bear attacks. These are legalistic details that he says he got all of his anarchist friends together on the Discord server and discussed it. It blows my mind to think of the brain power that is being used to hash out details of the anarchist system because they can't think in principle. And then I say to myself, oh, well, none of them are really very smart, so I guess we haven't lost that much brain power at the whole subject, have we? Now, there's something he says at 28 that maybe we need to... I think I might have covered everything. Let's go and see what he says there.
If a guy's walking up your street with,
Yeah, I covered that. If he's walking up your street with a gun. All right. I think that's all we have to say. I wanted to digest that into a quick little snippet. Now, I'm not going to do this forever if I can't make money at it, so go Patreonize me. I'm doing this to get started. These are fun. I'm kicking people in the teeth. That's fun. He deserves it. These anarchists need a good kick in the pants. So Patreonize me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be Rand's Pitbull. I'm also going to do my other videos and stuff too. I'll do debates. I'll do interviews. This is going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Cropper. Welcome to my channel. Please Patreonize me so that I can do this stuff. This is fun, isn't it? These are golden days. Only nobody suspects it.